What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the Other Side of the Firewall podcast, where we talk about the latest and greatest in cybersecurity news, as well as we highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who've made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. My name is Ryan Williams, and as always, I'm joined by Shannon Tynes.
What's up? What's up?
And LeVon Maynard.
How the hell are you?
What is going on? So good week. So Monday we talked about $25 million investment into cyber through 13 HBCUs. Tuesday, we discussed how 1 billion devices are impacted by a Bluetooth vulnerability in the IoTs or in the Bluetooth stack on IoT devices. There you go, because words matter, right? Today, we'll have a discussion that concerns people with Apple devices, right? So hear me out. I'm going to paint the picture and explain it. So the title of the article is Apple Delays Plans to Scan Devices for Child Abuse Images After Privacy Backlash. This comes from the Hacker News, and it was written by Ravi. I cannot pronounce your last name. Starts with an L. I don't want to butcher it, but I do want to give you your credit. So in it, you might be thinking, well, why would they delay this? Like that's a good thing. Like I don't want child abuse images on people's phones, especially if you're a child abuse survivor or something of that nature. So I'm not saying that's a bad initiative. What I'm trying to get the discussion around is Apple's plans to scan your iCloud for these images or images that may be similar. And the way that they're doing it is that basically there's a database on the back end, at least to my understanding, that is from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. So they're running those pictures up against your pictures. And then there's some machine learning, the AI as well in the background that basically warn you if you take a picture and you try to put in your iCloud that may be of sensitivity, and it will try to stop you. And as well as it will, it don't really specifically say they'll report you, but that's kind of the implications. Again, I'm not saying this is a bad thing per se, but it is a breach of privacy. Let's say you have pictures of your own kids on there. It will probably also flag you. And let's say you are a kid with pictures of kids. And we talked about this in the past. I think we talked about this when we're talking about kids' privacy at school. If a child has another child's risque or nude picture on their phone, they have child pornography on their phone. Even though they are a child, they can still get hit with some very serious charges because of it. So with all that being said, my question posed to the group is, how much safety and security are you willing to give up for privacy, or vice versa? How much privacy do you want? And how much safety and security are you willing to risk to maintain it? So again, I'm not going to talk too much, but I'd like to get your feedback before I discuss my thoughts.
Yeah, it's a touchy little subject. I mean, I think it's when I kind of look at the article, when I first glanced at it, I was like, this is a little questionable. But I think if they do it properly, I don't think I have a problem with it. I'd rather them find images of children being abused or like child pornography versus just having people share images. But if they do it right, like they're not necessarily like looking at your pictures. People not like somebody's logged in, just connected to your iCloud account and looking at your pictures, like scrolling through at the leisure. If it's some sort of back end like AI that is able to scan images just to verify that they're not like child pornography, or they're not some like abused children, and just kind of like if it identifies something, then it kind of like mark it or whatever, and have, I don't know if it's just at that point, maybe then they can check out the picture themselves and say, hey, this is something. If somebody's actually going to verify that it's actually an illicit picture, or if they're going to just like notify you, say, hey, this we identify this, you may want to like not post it, or if you do post it, we're going to have to quarantine, we'll have to like cut off your account, or we have to notify the authorities or something to that effect, or we're going to have to like, I don't know, do whatever. But I can understand the concern for security, for like privacy. I think obviously people are going to be up in arms with that idea. I mean, if it, if they actually pushed forward with the plans, but I think it's for the like the better, the greater good, as some people say. Uh, I think it's if they do it properly, if they're not like actually, like I mentioned, just looking at your pictures at the leisure. It's more so just like an AI engine in the background that kind of identifies and maybe notifies you and lets you know, like, hey, and then you can maybe like submit uh, an exception, or like you can counteract, like if they flag it, you can say, hey, this is actually not a child pornography. This is a picture of my dog or something, whatever, or maybe it does flag something like you. Some people take pictures of the kids in a bathtub on a rug or something like that, but naked, and they're like, hey, this is let me put this in my iCloud, and then all of a sudden gets flagged for child pornography. Um, maybe that stuff might be kind of caught and maybe of concern or something, but it's not really concern. But uh, what you call it? I think it's a little, it could be a slippery slope, but I think it's for the greater good. But I could see it both ways, honestly. But what about you? What about you, Shannon? You got some thoughts on it?
So if I said it once, I've said it 100 times, right? So like I'm the Patriot Act guy, right? I'm all for this. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I understand the reason for it. And I say those people need to get buried under the jail anyway, right?
Mhm.
Like if you're out there doing that. And anybody who's sensible, I believe, would say the same thing. But to play devil's advocate, right? So we're hoping it's only, it's AI based on how this happens, right? But we can't guarantee that it'll always be the case, right?
Mhm.
There could be some type of human interaction where somebody is going through and looking at stuff, and we can't assume that everybody has honorable intentions now, right?
Mhm.
So another thing with this, like, what is the percentage? What is the percentage before they start investigation? Like, what is the percentage of recognition that's needed, right? Like, so does it need to be a 70% match, 60% match, 50% match? What are we looking at here, right? Like, what's to say my child doesn't have a doppelganger out there of someone that's missing, you know what I mean, or exploited or something like that, that they are investigating or trying to find or whatever, right? And the point you bring up about like the pictures with like children like in the bathtub and on the rug and naked and stuff like that, like that was one of those things. No, because you brought up a good point. You really did bring up a good point, because I have an age gap between all of my children, to where my older two children, like that is what we did. We took pictures of them taking baths, you know what I mean, doing stuff, walking around, without clothes on and whatnot. But
Right.
as time went on, like I remember reading an article where there was someone that got in trouble for that. It was pictures of their own child. They were in a bath. They took pictures of them. It showed everything, and they were going through the court system because they were considered a child pornography. So for my
Mhm.
younger two children, it was something I was aware of, so that whenever I took pictures of them, in the bathtub or whatever, I had to make sure it was cropped, to where you
Mhm.
can't, so the
Right.
pictures don't look that great because there's all this space above their head. But
Right.
like, but it was a concern to where I was like, man, and I don't put anything like in a cloud or anything like that. Like I save
Right.
all my stuff off externally, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
I always get these messages every so often about my iPhone not backing up, and I'm like, well, I'm not going to do it. That's why I click okay. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I mean, it's one of those things where I see the intention, and I hope that would be what it's for. But I mean, there's always that capability for it to go farther than that, and I think that's what people worry about. It's like,
Mhm.
where is it gonna go? Or you have some of these people that may be objecting to it because they are doing dirt, right?
Mhm. Right.
You never know. But like for me, I'm like I'm all for it. You know what I'm saying? Come on in here, look at these pictures. You might see
Right.
some stuff. You know what I mean?
Right. Got
But
nothing to
I just
hide.
I just want you to know the stuff I sent to my wife is because I'm an adult. That's why.
Right.
I'm joking.
That's right. Might be some other nakedness
You know what
photos
I
coming through,
mean?
but
You know what I mean? You're like, hey, I decided to make her day, so that's what I sent to her.
right.
Got
Shoot, man. You're gonna have to zoom out big for that one,
I had to use a tripod across
You
the
gotta use
room. Let me stop.
Yeah, I know, right? I know. Let's go too far.
Yeah, crazy. Yeah, crazy. But those are the implications, right? It's like it'll go beyond that. So I'm definitely down for the they call it CSAM for the child sexual abuse pictures, stuff like that. Like if they have a database of these and what have you. So my issue is not necessarily the overstepping of privacy. My issue, I guess, is that you felt you had privacy to begin with. You didn't make the Apple device or whatever device. So you didn't make the phone, and you're only paying to store images in the cloud. Though that's not your server. You don't own that. Back in the day, if you took a naked picture and you tried to get it developed, like remember old school, like not too long ago, where you went to like a CVS to develop pictures, they were supposed to confiscate those pictures. So like if you took a picture of your girlfriend or your boyfriend or whatever, and they developed it, they're supposed to take it. So you're supposed to get your picture pack back. No questions asked. They're not supposed to say anything to you. They're supposed to hand you back your pictures, and that picture wouldn't be developed. They're supposed to destroy it. Like, did it keep them? Probably.
Right.
They're supposed to destroy that picture, and those are supposed to be your pictures, right? You paid a fee, you took the picture, you bought the camera and the film, and they still took it anyway, because you didn't develop your own picture. Again, why do you feel like you're entitled to said privacy? So I get it. Like I'm also sometimes a conspiracy nut. Like I think that the government could take it too far. And then in this article, they talk about put pressure to remove pictures of like politicians, or to then tag pictures as terrorists and to collect data on them and things of that nature, or make you an enemy of the state. I think that's very far reaching. But my beef is that you felt you had privacy to begin with. When you take that picture and you send it out there into the ether, you let that picture go. That's no longer yours.
True.
You know what I mean? That picture belongs to the streets. Like everybody has access to that picture.
Right.
So I think that's my beef with it. I think people should stop feeling so comfortable with other people's devices. Like it's not yours. Like that phone in your hand, that belongs to you. But as soon as you take that picture and you push it to somewhere else, it is no longer yours. You've shared it in some capacity. And I think we're getting too comfortable in that regard. So, you know, like once it's out there, it's out there. So hopefully you don't feel any kind of way about it. And if somebody's snooping through it, I mean, did you pay them to not snoop through it? Like you paid them again for a service to store your stuff. Like, so Apple has to be transparent. I'm not saying that they don't have to tell you what they're doing. I think that Apple, they put the pedal on, they hit the brake a little bit just so they can hopefully have a better campaign. Like they're gonna like dress it up to make it feel like it's for your protection, for your concern. Maybe throw you a couple extra features to make you feel better about yourself and about what they're about to do to your pictures. But those are like, once it hits their server, those are their pictures. So like you shouldn't put anything in there that you don't want some person out there looking at. Like remember back in the day when we like LeVon, you didn't necessarily deploy, but you may have worked on exchange of deployers. People used to have like all types of craziness on there. You'd be like, yo, someone is going to see this.
Right.
Like,
I can imagine being deployed and you like, yeah.
It hits the exchange and then everybody's sharing the picture. Like you'll see, I remember one time I was a young airman. I was in Iraq. There was a single picture of a female sitting on it was like, it wasn't a bomb, but it looks like a bomb. I forget what it's called. But she was sitting on the bomb. She was wearing a tank top. And like that one image became everyone's screensaver across the entire AOR.
Oh, damn.
You know what I mean? She sent it to one person. That one person either hit the exchange server, somebody pilfered it, or they shared it with a friend or whatever, and became everybody's screensaver. It made it all the way to Air Force Times. That's how popular the image became. Like we live in a digital age, you got to be careful. Like, start making more memories. Stop take less pictures.
Right. Take a
mental. They out there for everybody. Yeah, they out there for everybody. So I don't think people should feel too concerned, to be honest with you. Like, of course it's going to escalate. Of course they're going to start, like if there's a foot in the door, like they'll go from, protecting children, which they should be doing anyway. But at some point it's going to ramp up, and then these pictures will be used for other things. Like another example, and I'll stop going on side tangents, but another example would be all of the stuff that came from January 6th. You had people out there filming their own criminal acts. Like people are not thinking. They're just like, there's like, it's my phone, it's my freedom. Like, no, it's not. No, it's not.
Right.
FBI was like, oh man, we got like 1 billion pictures to sort through, but that's okay. We're about
Right.
to arrest all of y'all. So
we're gonna find
it just
you.
makes no sense. Like that doesn't belong to you. Like once you take and you push it out there, it belongs to the world. So this is my 2 cents.
Right.
That's also why I don't think it's going to change, right? Like people are too comfortable and too set in their ways, right? So even, Apple, their lawyers are already like, hey, you have to make this known, whether you put it in the EULA or you send an email notification to these people that use our services. They're going to make people aware of it, but I just don't think it's going to change their mindset on it. They're not going to change their setting to where their pictures automatically get backed up in the cloud. You know what I mean? It's still going to happen. It's not going to be of consequence to them until it's something that they don't want to happen to them, right? So you're caught up on the wrong side of it. But then you can't say, well, I didn't know because you were notified. You know what I mean? Or they'll probably even put an acknowledgement, once, because they were talking about doing this when iOS 15 came out, right? Which they're suspecting is going to happen in the fall, like September, right? Like this month,
Right.
I think is when it was supposed to. They're talking about dropping iOS 15. So, I mean, this is what we asked for, though. We as a people wanted this convenience. You know what I mean? Oh, now I don't have to hook up an external device, and then copy it over and wait for this, that, and the third. It's as simple as just changing that checkbox or changing that setting to say as soon as you take a picture, it automatically backs up to the cloud. Oh, how convenient that is for me, right? And they love it. So I don't know. I don't want to say we're bringing it upon ourselves, right? Because we, especially as Americans, can't take that we made a wrong decision. You know what I mean? So, or we're doing something wrong. But this is what we inadvertently or advertently asked for.
Very true. So that is good discussion. I like it. So thank you to listeners for definitely listening. And then give us your opinion, right? So I'm bad at replying to comments. I know that already. Every now and then one will pop up. That's an actual person and not a bot. So I'm going to try to get through those and reply back to everybody's comments. But yeah, leave us your feedback, leave us your comments. I post all these on Facebook. So if you are in the Facebook group, definitely let us know what you think about it. And then again, I'm going to get better at replying on YouTube to those comments. But yeah, let us know what you think, how you feel about it. Like, obviously, this is pretty important to a lot of people. I myself am going to go through my cloud to see just what's in there. Like, I take pictures of the dumbest stuff. I'm like, look what the store had today. Like yesterday, I took a picture of Crock-Pot. I was like, which one should I get? You know what I mean? And it automatically goes to the cloud. So I'm like,
yeah.
Like I have like 1 million pictures of just junk and nonsense I need to purge from there. But I'm not the naked pic type person, so I ain't got none of them. Because again, it's once you take it and it's gone. It's out there. It's out there on the interwebs to be used against you when you run for office or something. So just be careful. Again, privacy is I get people. They definitely want their freedom. They definitely want their privacy, but it's the two don't always intertwine, especially when it's not yours. So just be cautious. But thank you, LeVon. Thank you, Shannon. As always, again, thank you to all those out there listening. Definitely at the social medias at www.theothersideofthefirewall.com, where you can get to all our good stuff. And then you can hit me up personally. I'm at RyRy Security Guy. That's RYRY Security Guy on Clubhouse, LinkedIn, TikTok, and Twitter. And you, LeVon?
Hit me up on the Twitters at LeVon Maynard.
There it is. Oh, and definitely stay tuned for the next episode where we talk about and not spoil the Marvel movie. I promise this time.
That's right.
All right. Peace.
Take care.